Well, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Terry Boyge, and I am the president of a couple of companies. One is called Perry Johnson Registrars, and the other company is called Perry Johnson Registrars Food Safety Incorporated. Now, a little bit about our company. All right, our organization happens to be a small company, but a big company. We've got a global footprint. Our organization has facilities all over the world. And we typically have a group of about 72 companies. And Mr. Johnson happens to got involved very early on in the quality business and started out basically in statistical process control in the automotive industry, and then grew that into aerospace. And we deal with standards like medical device, not just food safety, information security. So our businesses are all centered around doing these auditing of various industries. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about food safety and the importance of food safety and implementing the various food safety standards. Now, like anything in this particular industry, we all know that standards are getting developed. It's a very dynamic situation as we speak. The standards are continually getting developed. But we know that there are the growers, they may know agriculture, but they may not know the aspects of food safety factors and vice versa. So these are things that are going to come up during the course of the presentation. Now, what we do in our organization does third-party certification. So you ask yourself, what is third-party certification? Well, there's first-party certification, okay? So first-party certification, what is that? Okay, that's a company that might be a manufacturer. So say I'm an automotive manufacturer. I'm Ford Motor Company. Okay, I have all these internal controls and procedures that I have. Well, I'm going to audit myself. So if I audit myself, that means it's first party. Okay? Now, if I'm Ford and I'm getting a product that's coming that's a seat, okay, from Lear Seating, okay, I might want to go out to Lear Seating to ensure that they're producing the right product. Okay, that they're supplying to me. The same thing with the food industry. There's suppliers that food companies go and they audit to ensure that they're getting the right product. Well, we're talking today a little bit about the third-party certification side of things. And so that's what our organization happens to do. We happen to be the largest organization in the United States that does it. So what we do is we deploy auditors in various competency levels to go out to ensure that they're auditing the right side of the food industry. Now, from an ag perspective, from agricultural concerns, obviously if you're a grower, you have to be able to look at everything from pesticides, all different kind of chemical residues, metals. These are all things that during an audit that we will really look at very closely in terms of contamination. Now, in the food safety side of things, in terms of food-related concerns, because we deal with so many food organizations, you have allergens. That's a major issue to deal with. I mean, if you're making any kind of baked goods with peanut oil, God forbid there's THC going to be mixed with baked goods in a peanut oil that can cause someone to die. So these are risks that have to be controlled and have to be looked at and monitored. Bacterial contamination, E. coli and Salmonella, these are real-world things that can harm an image of a company. One of our companies that we have, and it's the largest company in the United States, we happen to own a company called Perry Johnson Laboratory Accreditation. And we have offices all over the world, but the highest growth area, and we do testing. And what this company does is they deploy auditors to laboratories. These laboratories want to get recognized that they're superior over another lab. So if any producer wants to take their product to a laboratory to get tested, who's to say that this lab testing is better than another lab testing? There's an internationally recognized standard called 17025 that's a very rigid set of rules and regulations where these laboratories have to write procedures, they have to write work instructions, they have to do internal audits, and then what they do is they'll have a third party come in to be able to accredit them so they can raise that flag and say that I'm 17025 accredited and it's safe to be able to come to my testing laboratory because I stand out over all the other labs. Now, steps to certification. Now, how does my company maybe go through this? How do we get this? What is the next step, and what do we do? Okay, so if you get a registrar on early, it also shows commitment by the companies that you're going to be working with, that you're actually committed to doing this. So you start an internal audit cycle after you elect the manager representative. You draft a quality manual that defines the overall approach and responsibility. You document procedures. You have to complete your internal audit cycle before we come out. You have to do an internal audit, and it has to be documented. And then you typically do what's called a management review, where the manager of that company has to review the entire quality system to make sure that he knows what's going on, because the buck stops with the people at the very top. And then finally, there's a registration audit, but a lot of companies, what they'll elect to do, if they don't know, if you're really sort of miffed and don't know what they're doing, they'll do a pre-assessment. We get called a lot early on, where we say, listen, hey, we're sort of struggling with this. Can you come out here and do a little bit of an audit? So what we'll do is we do a pre-audit. And that particular pre-audit, we can actually sit there and plan it with you. We give you an actual audit plan to tell you what we're going to be doing, and then you can say, hey, we're having a little bit of a problem in this area, or with pest control, or whatever it might be. You know, we're not quite sure the various standards that are required. Can you spend a little bit more time? So you've got the ability to help to be able to dictate what goes in to that pre-assessment. It's a total dry run, and then your audit will typically take place, depending on if you've got to go back and do more work. Your audit will take place typically 30 to 45 days after that. That's usually how it works. Now, obviously, some of the benefits of you just not, self-declaring, because you can self-declare and say, hey, I think I got this, all right? Or you can actually have a certificate that goes on your wall from a third party, which is obviously a layer of confidence. It helps you really to gain legitimacy in the public side. So by having this particular certificate, you can go to various potential customers and you can show them that, listen, this is the real deal. We went through a lot of work to be able to attain this. So that sets you aside from your competitors. So the overall benefit really helps from the very lowest level to the very top of the corporation. Obviously reducing recalls, saving money in the bottom line. Okay, that's a little bit about the third-party system, a little bit about how regulation takes place and what's going on in the food safety industry. But if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to go ahead and answer them. If I can, okay?